Hello, lovelies, and welcome to the last Hold My Coffee 2021. It has been an amazing journey that started last November, a year ago, November, when I caught COVID. My NaNoWriMo crashed and burned because I couldn't think creatively because I was so sick. And so I started editing because I looked at what I had and I had almost 2 million words that were unedited. And I decided I'll start editing. It's time for me to stop dabbling at writing and actually start seriously writing and publishing. And my brain, being my crazy brain, said, oh, well, 10 books. We can do 10 books. And my friend Carol Brown, YouTuber, author tuber, and she had talked about doing an acorn year, a year where you plant your seeds. And so I took that advice to heart and I used December 2020 while I was recovering from COVID to start lining up my acorns. I published 2 books, Ghost with Cats and A Huntsman's Honor. And I started editing the rest of the Huntsman of Adamo series and Ghost with Ink, which is the second. And I started writing the third, Ghost with Hope. I hadn't started I hadn't got to that third book yet, but I went ahead and publishing the first book committed me to finishing the third book. And that started us on this journey that led us to here, December 10th, 2021, and Ghost with Hope. So that's the cover. My eldest made that cover. She made the cover for all 3 in the series, and I think they look amazing. I will start with reading the blurb for Ghost with Hope. We're continuing the story of the Eloh people and Annalise Wintersdove, who is now Lady Annalise of Vanth. And this is the blurb. Life on Eloh was never easy. Chasing the cause of the infertility and peace cost Lady Annalise of Vanth her child, her pets, and almost her life. But she vowed she wouldn't give up as long as she had the love of her ink giver, even though she disagrees with him. But a mysterious link to Earth 25,000 years ago draws Annie's curiosity like a moth to a flame, as one who wishes to conquer both worlds stalks her. Admit Vanth Tall struggles with an escalating war, violations of the travel ban to Earth, and discerning the traitors on his ship and in the kingdom. His guilt over not keeping Annie and their child safe grates on him, as does his inked one's refusal to understand pets aren't people. His rigidness and arrogance will put them both in danger and cost him everything he values. Will Annie and Tall be able to save the Eloh from extinction and civil war? Will their love endure the difference in their cultures? Or will the secret of the Eloh connection to Earth in the ancient past, destroy all hope as exiled Prince Asimo of Eloh seeks to conquer the world? And then if you're flipping through the book, you have Annie's rules, and then we have the prologue. And I am going to skip ahead. Where is that? I found a section where I want to read. Oh, hold on, I'm scrolling. Here we go. So, a little spoiler. There have been some things going on, and one of the fellow admins has just basically died during the middle of a battle. And Paul has sent Annie to basically take over that fleet, the Eighth Fleet, because of her ink that where he bit her and inked her, and she's got that huge tattoo. She now has his equal rank, so she is going with Tall's junior command staff over to take over the Eighth Fleet, and because she is with them, they cannot tell them no. They must obey. So we are going to start in the aftermath of the battle, and Annie has arrived at the Eighth Fleet. She noticed Chief Sentinel Stolfst Harvey had his head tipped slightly, listening to his ear gear. What? She murmured to him. My lady, the battle is lost. The Yenna now control the moon colonies of Leviathan. His answer sent a cold chill through her, to match the icy feeling in her ink. She realized it wasn't just the air temperature, but Tall's mood she was feeling. Reverting to her Texas roots, Annie nodded. Then she turned to the command deck, offering the usual comfort for a death in the community. Bob, how long has it been since your crew has eaten a decent meal? Every head turned toward her, then looked away as if she had asked something outrageous or stripped naked in front of them. How long? Lady Vanth, we are assigned our daily war ration, another answered quietly. War ration? Annie didn't know what that was, and her confusion was plain. So Harvey held out a sealed, clear packet he pulled from a leg pocket. She peeled the corner, then closed it quickly, as an odor like bad liver pate mixed with rancid fruit and crushed vitamins hit her nose. Gross! Annie almost gagged. Harvey, have additional food stocks sent over from the Fourth Shield. I want hot meals serving in the dining commons in an hour. My lady, you cannot. Bob started, then looked horrified that he had spoke to her as Stokes snarled at him. Do not tell the Lady of Vanth what she may or may not do. Why can't we serve meals? Y'all all look like you need one, Annie demanded, as Healer Vesper came in. He looked disturbed by the readings on his medical scanning device as he walked from station to station, examining the Eloh crew and bridge pets. Because they have no livestock nor a place to consume it, Engineer Mazar Nanth of the First Fleet announced as he walked toward her. He bowed. More than half of the ship is with adequate atmosphere, Lady Annie, he typed on a display. We can serve meals, but they will not be in the dining common. Annie scowled at the end, then announced, They can eat at their stations, but no more of those stinky pucks. I want them to have real food. Show me what else you found. I can't, Nat answered, then added as she looked angry. My lady would ruin her dress crawling through the maintenance shafts. A map of the ship appeared on a display. Much of the immense ship was shadowed purple, red, or orange. Why would I need to crawl through the maintenance shafts? Annie dreaded that she already knew the answer as she looked at the image. Because it is the only way to reach the engineering areas without an environmental suit. Nath looked as disgusted as she felt. Do what you can. She rubbed her forehead, then looked past him at one of the First Fleet sword pets, her personal guard. Yes, Pet Boax? He bowed to one knee and murmured, Pet Burke, begs Lady Annalise to come with a healer quickly. Annie leaned over the rail. Vesper, come with me. Take me to Burke, Boax. As she followed the pet, she gave Stoff's orders. Have meals prepared and brought over. Talk to Nath about getting whatever he needs to get the air cleaned up. He relayed the message as the lift doors closed and they descended. Boax alternated between shifting nervously from foot to foot and glaring at Bob. Why are you giving him the stink eye, Boax? Annie demanded. Talking to the pets casually seemed to make Bob more nervous. She could even smell him sweating despite the cold temperature. My lady has a kind heart. My lady will soon be upset, Boax answered, keeping his head down. Newly awakened pets of the Eighth Fleet are not cared for as my lady cares for the pets of the First and Fourth Fleets. What do you mean? Stoffs demanded. Sword pets must be fed and trained to be of value to the war effort. If they are in as poor a condition as the males on board, they will all require extra nutrients and calories. Revealing his findings, Healer Vesper scowled. She looked at Bob. How bad are the conditions of the pets? They live? Bob answered hesitantly. Stoffs glared at him, revealing, Admant Luxgori only sent the oldest and poorest conditioned sword pets to the reclamation effort. Are the others in worse condition? Bob bowed his head. The pets, the Admant and the lady require the fleet's resources for other things. What other things? Annie started to ask as the door opened. A blast of freezing air hit them. Annie's gasp crystallized in front of her lips as the smell of death and frost slapped her in the face. Many pets were huddled together with only blankets wrapped around them. From their shapes, Annie could tell they were grossly malnourished. Burke was kneeling next to a bundle of refuse, holding the hand of a young pet huddled under a blanket. Annie shivered violently as she and Vesper walked over to Burke. She took the dying pet's hand. Hello, pet. I am Lady Vanth. You have my permission to look at me and speak to me. Scanning the young clone, Vesper shook his head slightly as she ran her head over the child pet's bald head. Stokes put his uniform coat over Annie's shoulders, and she was grateful for the warmth. Just rest. Soon you will be warm and have enough to eat. We have come to help you, Annie insisted in a gentle voice. The sword pet blinked at her. It made a faint sound. Burke stiffened and spoke to him in the pet language. Then the sick pet exhaled and died. Chief Sentinel Stoffst gritted his teeth loud enough that everyone heard it before he stomped away. What is this room? Annie's words hurt as she exhaled them into the bitter cold. Tears felt frozen in her eyes. My lady, this is the recycle facility where the ship's waste is stored and sorted. Every ship larger than a scythe has one, Healer Vesper announced, then demanded, Why are your pets in such an unsatisfactory condition? It's the only place we had for them with atmosphere, Bob revealed in an ashamed voice. What did he say to you, Burke? Annie asked as she covered the dead clone's face. Pet 4226 asked Pet Burke if Lady Vanth would tell the pets of Group 4 to not eat Pet 4226. Enraged, Annie panted as she looked around. Why would he think I would they would eat him, or that I would allow that? Lady Vanth, you need to see this. Stokes called out to Annie. She went over to where he was standing by a door. Healer Vesper followed. They stared in horror. Then Annie ran back to the lift. She dropped Harvey's coat on the way. Shutting the door, she vomited into the corner until she was certain her toenails were all that was left to come out. She wiped her mouth, panting out crystalline clouds in the putrid air. Shivering and shuddering overlapped. Even though her skin was covered in a cold sweat, she opened the door. My lady, Vesper looked as ill as she felt. Holding his coat out to her again, Stofst Harvey had a barely contained rage in his tone as he quietly announced, "The fourth shield is coming to our relief. Engineer Mazar does not feel the eighth sword is safe for habitation and is insisting you need to leave immediately, my lady." Annie shook her head as she said, "Move all the pets and non-essential personnel to the hangar bays. I want environmental suits issued to everyone who stays, just in case the hull goes. Tell the prime advance ciphers to have the blades from the 8th land on the 4th sword. It is already being done, my lady." The chief sentinel of the First Fleet looked around, and Annie saw the war-hardened veteran tremble for a moment. "I have a rule for this," Annie revealed quietly. "Turn grief and pain into strength and purpose instead of weakness." And then so much happens. We get to spend a little bit of time with the 8th Fleet. We get to see Annie. Well, she avenges Pet 4226 and his brothers. Unfortunately, it's not enough to save them, and you'll just have to read to see why. I want to thank everyone who came on this journey with me, everyone who has been following Hold My Coffee 2021, and just thank you for supporting my scribbles, because it wasn't that long ago, just 6 short years, that I was laying in a hospital with the right side of my body paralyzed and only a few hundred words left in my vocabulary because I could not make my mouth or my fingertips say or write what I knew I meant. Writing has been a journey back to language for me. It's been the way that I've stored my memories because my brain doesn't convert them anymore. And it's made me so many wonderful friends. God bless, and have a very, very lovely day.